Hey folks, welcome to Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead. We are in Montana. We've had beautiful weather. It's been in the 40s. Tomorrow's 49, but that is the last nice day for a little while again. It looks like we have some cold air moving in and some even below zero weather moving in by weekend. So tomorrow's supposed to hit 49 degrees. We've been talking, Cowboy and I think what we're going to do is go ahead and set up and butcher our few roosters, our handful of roosters that we have tomorrow while the weather is nice, and get that project at least done, the outside work done, and then I will go ahead and have Cowboy help cut the meat off the bones. We'll pressure can the meat in jars, and I will take the bones and the meat that's left on the bones and boil up our broth and get some more of that canned. So I think tomorrow is going to be a busy day of just butchering some roosters. I should be out here cleaning my grain shed. It's a disaster right now. It's just needing a really good organization and cleaning job. But I guess if I don't get it done in the next couple days, it might have to wait till closer to spring. But it's just out of control. I mean, I can get it looking so nice in here and organized and dusted, and I mean, it can look so nice, and then I let it go and I get careless and it gets out of control. And so it's back to that point again, and I do need to take an afternoon and work on cleaning it. So this job's going to have to wait, and I think it's time to go ahead and get those chickens or those roosters butchered and the meat processed and some broth made and some more jars in our root cellar on the shelf. So be ready to join us tomorrow. I'll save this video till then, till I can get a little bit of footage. We probably won't be showing the actual killing of the roosters, but I will just show little clips here and there of how we do it here on our homestead, and the process it takes to get food from the farm to the table. And so much better for you. There's no recalls on this food. We know how the roosters were taken care of. We know how the process of butchering and cutting and canning them is done, and it just makes us feel really good to be able to butcher our own chickens, our own beef, whether we harvest a deer. Cowboy and I like to know where our meat comes from, and it's so much healthier for you. It's cleaner. We feel a whole lot safer of knowing all that we do. So we'll start this video now, but I'll take on from here, and tomorrow we'll see how it goes. So talk to you soon. So today's the day Cowboy and I are going to capture up extra roosters and get them butchered and eventually get them into jars and make broth. There's just too many roosters in here, and you can see them over there. There's a couple, there's 3, 4 of them right over there. So Cowboy sharpening his axe, and we'll get this day rolling. One, two, three, four, 5 caught. There's one more on the loose that we need to get captured, and our job will start. They're nice roosters, but they're young roosters, and they all want to fight now. And they're really giving a lot of havoc in the chicken yard and I've got two really nice roosters I want to keep, and they're just constantly fighting. So these will go into our canning jars. Well, we have 4 down, 2 to go. And to some this might upset, I don't know, but this is why we raise our own for our own meat. I do not like to buy chicken or whatever at the grocery store and then have them give me a recall on it. Here we raise our critters with deep respect. We feed them, we take care of them, we give them shelter, food, water, and in return they provide us with good, clean, fresh meat to put in our jars, to put on our shelf in our root cellar for food to feed our bodies. And it's coming right off from food from the farm to the table meat for us on our homestead. So I'm not showing the graphic parts, but this is how we do it. And like I said, these roosters were a little bit older. They were hatched in late fall, and we just did not get the job done. Normally in January in Montana, you would not be doing this. But we've got 40 degrees right now, and Cowboy is working at skinning all of them. And then we'll be coming in to go ahead and cut them up, or cut off of the bone. And I'll be boiling the bones, and the meat's going to go in jars. We're just cutting the meat off of the bones to put in jars. And then the bones will be put in a stock pot and boiled for broth. So I've almost got 7 jars filled with chicken that Cowboy's cut off the bones, and we put a few of the drumsticks and wings in with. Water's ready, and the bones, some of the bones are boiling here. I'll be skimming off a lot of this and getting rid of that. I've got some lids heating, and it'll be time to get them in the canner. 7 jars ready to go in the pressure canner. Getting some good broth. We'll let that boil a while. The canner's done with the first round. It's cooling down. And then we can take the jars out. We've got enough chicken left to do a couple more jars. You're not supposed to be in there. Cowboys put cattle panels there, and it still knows how to jump in, jump out. Can't keep them out of the good hay. So tomorrow's job is to get some straw back into that shed on both sides before the cold comes. We've got below 0 weather ahead of us, and these critters here are used to some nicer weather right now. It's going to be kind of a shock to them, so I want to bed them down as much as possible, and hopefully they'll do okay. That's tomorrow's job. Well, folks, that was a big day for Cowboy and I. We got 6 roosters caught this morning, and we went ahead and butchered them outside. It was about 40 degrees out. The wind was starting to come up just a little bit before we got done. Cowboy actually just skinned them because they are all, you know, like 8 months and younger, but they were getting too old to really pluck. And this time of year, you're going to have a lot of pin feathers and whatnot, and on that age of bird. So we decided to just skin those. We skinned them. I run them into the house to cool them off in water, but actually by the time we got 2 done, the meat was cooling down already. It was cool enough outside that things were cooling fast. So got those all done, took them to the kitchen. As Cowboy was cutting up the chunks of meat for me to can, I'm re-washing everything again and just checking each piece as we go to make sure there's no feather, no dirt. Everything was very nice and clean today, and I was very impressed with that. There was a lot of yellow fat on these roosters, and that's just because of the winter fat. They're not the meat birds. They were just roosters that we had hatched either in our incubator. One was hatched, we decided, early in our incubator, about March or April, because he was a little tougher. He was a little harder to even skin for Cowboy. But the other 5 were hatched late fall, late summer and fall, early fall, I would say. And so they actually skinned really easy for him. They pulled off the whole skin and feathers, and that went really good for that. So, but we got those done, and while he was cutting it up, I was making sure to rewash everything, make sure everything was really good and clean. And I had a stock pot going, ready to put the bones in, and we just started boiling that right away. And as soon as I got enough meat in the pan, I started filling jars, and I got a canner full. I put a teaspoon of salt in each. I did not add any water. I just cleaned the lids or the jars off with a little bit of vinegar on a rag, and put the warm seal on, and put them in the pressure canner. And they pressure canned for an hour and 15 minutes. And just before I came out here to the coop to gather eggs, I shut the burner off. So it's going to cool down for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever, till my pressure goes down, and then I can open it up and let it cool a little bit more. I like to take that lid off really slow so it doesn't get to boiling the water out of the broth out of the jars. So I usually crack my lid, and I kind of kick it to the side a little bit and let that hot steam come out slowly. And then within the hour, I'll go ahead and take those jars out and be ready to put the last 2 in. And I wish I would have had some other meat ready, thawed out, and I could have, and I just wasn't thinking ahead. I could have went and filled the extra 5 jars and run that too, and had a few more jars of beef or something, but I just wasn't on ball with that. So it'll be just 2 more quarts of chicken that I'll go ahead and run through the canner. And like I said, the broth is going to keep simmering and cooking the rest of the day, and possibly just get set up to cool down until tomorrow, and then I will probably go ahead and can it up. But we'll check that later to see how it's looking and tasting. I did not add any onion or celery or anything like that. It's just the chicken stock is what I'm working on with this right now. But I usually use a lot of chicken broth and beef broth and ham broth, and so I wanted to get as much as I could out of these, so I'm going to keep boiling it. But the meat that I've got on the bones still that we did not cut off, when those bones cool, then Cowboy and I will just take our time and pick off the good boiled meat off of the bones. And there's going to be some good pickings there for us. So we'll either make a sandwich with it, we will maybe chop it up, put some mayonnaise pickles with it. We can put it in little Ziplocs and freeze that. And so there's still meat going to come off of those bones for more meals for us. So nothing's going to waste. I do not boil the feet. I just don't. I let those go out with the feathers and the heads. I guess if times were a little harder, I probably would go ahead and consider that. But right now, I like to boil the bones. So all in all, we've had a great day. I just came out to gather eggs, and I didn't show the graphic parts because, to some that does bother, but we do take very good care of our animals here, and the good Lord has blessed us with them. We've either hatched them in an incubator, or one of our hens has set on eggs and hatched. And whenever we get roosters like that, it's just common sense to go ahead and butcher and put that meat in your freezer, put that, or eat it right away even. You could, fry chicken, whatever. But we decided our freezers aren't as good a shape right now, and for space-wise, and these are older roosters, so I feel they're going to be more tender going through the pressure canner, and they'll be a lot easier, to eat. They won't be so tough and dry. They should be really moist, good chicken coming out of those jars, and we can use that with noodles. We can make soup. We can pick it off the bone. We can make another sandwich. So there's just lots of ways that you can do that. And I'm so thankful that we're in good enough health today to get up, and together as a team, we got the job done. You know, it took us a little while catching roosters, and then we had one that was out of the pen, and we had to get that one taken care of, and it's just a process to get ready, and sharpening the knives, sharpening the axe. But I can just tell right now, I'm in the coop, and it's so relaxing. My hands are so happy. They had so many roosters that just kept them running, squawking, making noise. They're so calm right now. They're so happy to be rid of all those young roosters that were hounding them constantly. So it was much needed, but who would have thought in January in Montana that we could butcher chickens? You know, it's just not something you normally do outside in January here. So I'm very thankful. We're blessed that we were able to get this little job done. And now tomorrow I will probably be hauling straw out, excuse me, to my goat shed that we built a few months ago together. Cowboy and I, we built a 3-sided shelter, a 16 by 12, I believe it was, and 3-sided, and we built that by ourselves in about a week out of repurposed tin, and all we had to buy were the planks. So go back and check my video out on that. I might have a couple out on that earlier on when I first started YouTube. And so I'm going to go ahead and get that straw down tomorrow so that they have a good straw bed to lay on during this cold, because as I'm seeing, it's still going to get colder than they said to start with. So the below zero weather is coming our way. Hopefully it won't last long, but it is a shock to our animals. But we try to take care of our animals. Like I started to say earlier, we feed them, we water them, we keep them in clean straw as much as possible. They are well taken care of. We try to keep them away from predators. But when you end up with too many roosters, you need to take care of them. And on the homestead, that's just part of homesteading. And growing your own meat, raising your own meat is so much better than having to buy it and not know where that meat came from. Our process today was quick, it was clean, and it's awesome. It's done. It's in the jars. So the good Lord has blessed us with these, and we've hatched them either from an incubator or a hen, hatching our chicks, and we've taken care of them well up till today, and in return they are feeding our bodies. So that's just the way it works. So God bless you for following us along. Thanks for following us. Take time to go back and check my other videos out. I'm still pretty new to the YouTube, and I'm just not going to worry about editing. You know, you're getting the raw footage. You're getting everything that happens, my bloops, whatever. I'm not good at that. I'm lucky to be able to turn this on and be able to record for you, but we really enjoy you folks following us, and click and subscribe and giving us a thumbs up and maybe a comment below. That really helps our channel grow, and share it. And we really, really appreciate that. So take care. God bless, and goodbye from Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead. So we've got more eggs to gather here. And I haven't got the straw in yet because we went to work butchering roosters today. So tomorrow's the day to get straw, and I'll probably be putting extra straw in here as well. And getting them all tucked in and trying to make it so it's not breezy and cold. We usually have this door open, it's screened in, and I think we'll be closing this all up so we don't have a draft. I do have a slight window open over there, and if it gets that cold, I'll be shutting that too. But I like to have a little bit of air flow through here, and it's not directly on the chickens, so they're quite a ways from that. And we'll see if we've, oh yeah, look at all these eggs. I love these different colors. That's all we had for lunch today. Was I cooked us up 3 eggs each. And that's what we had. We didn't have any toast or anything. We just had eggs because we were both kind of tired out. And that looks like that's about it for eggs for gathering today. But this was our lunch today, just eggs. And we'll probably have an apple in a little bit here or something like that to finish our day off. But the good Lord has blessed us. And for that, we're thankful. And I'm thankful He gave us the day together and the strength to get our job done. And now we'll have chicken to put on the shelf. I don't know if you can sense here in my coop, but I definitely can sense that my hens are so much more relaxed and content. Those 6 young roosters really were hard on my girls. They just kept them running, squawking, flying. They were just too many. And there's one of the roosters that I did keep. They're not sure what to think of this basket of eggs. They would like it to be scraps, but I didn't have any scraps today. Maybe tomorrow, if it turns cold, I'll bring them some oatmeal. I've got some cranberry pieces that need to be thrown out. And maybe we'll bring them some hot oatmeal tomorrow if it turns cold. But they're all coming in now, getting ready to go to bed. And I'm going to head into the house, put another log on the fire, fix a cup of tea, sit and visit with my cowboy as we chat about our day. I've taken the lid off the canner, but I don't like to just pull those out quick. I like to let that air vent a little bit with the lid on the side, and then I've taken the lid completely off. Now I'm letting that cool down just a little bit more before I pull that out of the hot pot. But I'm going to go ahead and fill the last 2 jars that I have ready. I have salt in them. And I have some chicken pieces to go ahead and fill those jars with. So here's the 7 jars of chicken. And it looks so tender. I'm going to put a towel on these now, and they'll just cool down for several hours. Sometime tomorrow I'll take the rings off, mark the date, and we'll take them to the root cellar.